Good morning, everyone. This video is about James Joyce, and I would like to analyze The Dead, which is the last short story in the collection Dubliners. This short story takes on a very important role in the whole collection. It's the last, it's one of the longest, and it contains the meaning, the sense of the entire collection. The story is about Gabriel Conroy. Many critics have agreed on the fact that Gabriel is Joyce's alter ego. He's a writer, he's a journalist, he's Irish, and he is probably what Joyce would have been if he had stayed in Ireland for all his life instead of moving to the continent. The story is set during Christmas time. It's about an evening party organized by Gabriel's aunts, Miss Katie and Miss Julian, and it's the annual Christmas party they organize. Many people are invited, and Gabriel and his wife Greta are invited as well. So the story actually begins with a moment of joy. Christmas is usually related with the tradition of family gatherings, reunions, playful and joyful conversations with your friends and members of your family. So this is the expectation the reader probably has at the beginning of the story. And that's probably the expectation that Gabriel has as well. But the party doesn't actually go on the way he expected, or probably it's a perfect reflection of his expectations. Anyway, the story is quite long. Gabriel talks to many people. He also delivers a speech in front of everyone. He's really nervous for this speech, and according to him, it doesn't go very well. But anyway, I would just like to focus on the two most important moments in this story, which are, in my opinion, the conversation he has with a young Irish woman whose name is Miss Ivers, and then the final pages, which are about the relationship he has with his wife. So let's start with Miss Ivers. Miss Ivers is, as I said before, a young Irish woman. At the beginning of their conversation, she invites him and his wife to spend some time during summer at the Aran Islands. The Aran Islands are one of the most popular tourist destinations in Ireland, at that time especially for Irish people. So it's these islands actually represent the symbol of Irish tourism, something that Irish people should be proud of. Gabriel refuses this invitation simply because he has other plans for the summer. And Miss Ivers, who's very intrusive, wants to know about his plans. So he tells her that he's going on a cycling tour to Europe, mainly to France, Belgium, and Germany. And she tells him, I'm quoting from the book, "Why do you go to France and Belgium instead of visiting your own land?" So she accuses him of not knowing his country very much and preferring to visit other countries instead. At the beginning, Gabriel tries to be polite to her, and he simply replies by saying that he wants to put the languages he knows into practice. He wants to speak some French, some German. And then she replies that Irish is the only language to keep up with. By Irish, Miss Ivers refers to Gaelic, which is a language officially recognized in Ireland that dates back to time immemorial. Gaelic is a Celtic language, so it was the language spoken even before the Romans arrived, even before the English invaded the country. So it's a symbol of nationalism in Ireland. If you are a patriot, you speak Irish, you speak Gaelic. And Gabriel replies by saying, Irish is not my language. And then, since Miss Ivor keeps on irritating him, he replies to her by saying, to tell you the truth, I'm sick of my own country. I'm sick of it. So this is the truth about him. He doesn't want to live in Ireland. He's fed up with Ireland. And this is why she accuses him of being a West Briton. What is a West Briton? You have to remember that this story, this collection, was published in 1914. Those were the years of the Troubles. Those were the years of political internal divisions in Ireland. There were people, the majority of Irish, that wanted the independence from England. The majority of them were Catholic. And then there was a minority, but politically relevant, a minority of people who were Protestant and wanted to side with England and wanted to remain with England. And these Irish people, these Anglo-Irish people, were usually called West Briton. So Miss Ivors defines him as a West Briton, which is probably true. In the sense that Gabriel doesn't feel he is Irish. He feels he's European. He feels he's part of a bigger community, probably because he's more open-minded than the majority of Irish people. And that was the first element I wanted to analyze, which says a lot about him. This is what would have happened to Joyce if he had remained in Ireland. He would have had to defend these ideas in front of narrow-minded people. At the end of the party, Gabriel and his wife go back to the hotel. They are on the taxi, and Gabriel is really excited to be with his wife. He truly loves her. He has a great feeling for her. He feels lucky to have Greta by his side, but he understands that there's something wrong with her on that night. Her mind is apparently elsewhere. And so he talks to her and tries to understand what happened. And she says that during the party she heard a song, again a song like in Evelyn, that reminded her of a boy she loved when she was younger. And Gabriel wants to know more, and so she tells him the whole story. Greta was in love with this young man whose name was Michael Furry. Michael had a very delicate health, and one night Greta was going to leave for a long period, and Michael wanted to see her once again, but it was cold and raining, and he stood in the cold, in the rain, shivering, waiting for her to open the window. So he got ill, he got a temperature, and after a week he died. So he actually died for her because he wanted to simply to see her. Gabriel is now upset after listening to this story because he has spent the entire evening thinking about how lucky he is to have Greta by his side, and now he understands that he had probably played a very poor part in her life. While he was remembering the best times they had together, she was comparing him to another man, or at least she was thinking about another man. So he's upset and he doesn't understand what Greta feels for him. But one thing is sure, he knows that he truly loves her, and he has never loved a person more than her. Now they are at the hotel, and Greta has fallen asleep, and he's watching her. And this is the final part of the story, the last 2 pages. If you haven't read the whole story, I suggest you to read at least the 2 final pages. While looking at her, he feels insignificant. in her life. He understands that he probably had a very small role in making her happy. And he also knows that things have changed, that the face he's looking at is not the face for which Michael Furry had braved death. So the passion that Michael felt for her cannot be compared to the passion in their marriage. The narrator says it hardly pained him to think how poor a part he, her husband, had played in her life. He feels the power of Michael's passion, even though he's dead. And this is a thought which is one of the messages in the story. So this is where the epiphany for Gabriel begins. Those who are dead are probably more alive than the living ones. Michael is dead, but his presence, his passion, his feelings are still there, even though he is dead. So he considers all these elements focusing on the idea of mortality, focusing on the idea that we all have to die, but some of us simply leave something on earth before they died. And also the fact that we are all isolated, even though we are in company, even though we are at a Christmas party, we are all isolated. The final scene is really famous. Gabriel watches outside and it's snowing, and the snow is covering everything, every part of Ireland. This snow can have different interpretation. This snow is probably linked to the inability to know the others, because the truth lies beneath, the truth is hidden, the truth is covered. At the same time, this snow can have a positive connotation. So probably Gabriel is trying to get rid of everything. He is cancelling everything, and this white blanket can be a new beginning for him. And as a matter of fact, in the final lines, he says that he's ready for his journey to the west. So this journey, the cycling tour he wants to take during summer, takes on a metaphorical connotation, probably of renewal, of spirituality. So is Gabriel paralyzed? I don't think so. He's probably paralyzed by the political situation of Ireland, but his mind is open. And the epiphany he has at the end of the story relates to the fact that even though some dead people are still present in the memory of his wife, the living ones have a bigger opportunity not to waste their life. Okay, I think this is it, and thanks for watching.